This video is going to be all about the Fizban Treasury of Dragon spells, but before we delve into the draconic magic, I want to inform you that this Sunday, tomorrow, October 31st, I will be live streaming a charity 5th edition D&D one-shot as part of a bigger local fantasy convention, Fantasticon. It's part 2 of last year's charity livestream, but this time around we'll be playing in person instead of playing online. Hopefully it will be a bit more entertaining that way. If you can spare a few minutes of your free time, come say hi into the chat and chuck a buck or two my way. All donations will be influencing the events and encounters in real time and ultimately will be given to the local hospital's pediatric oncology department. Good cause, loads of fun, hopefully, so see you tomorrow. Yeah, let's jump straight into the spells. There's been slight renaming going on in here, so Rhymes Binding Ice is what Icing Death's Frost was in the Unearthly Arcana. And then we also got Flame Stride is now called a Shardalon's Stride, which is very thematic. Ritual and concentration and class distribution is, as far as I can see, the same. And yeah, let's jump basically straight into the mechanics. Now, a Shardalon's Stride, now this is gonna take a little bit of a, scrolling through back and forth. It is a very thematic spell, it's cool, but, so I'm struggling to see which character is going to be really relying on this. Maybe Artificers and Rangers a bit more than Sorcerers and Wizards, but when you think about it, it's a 3rd level spell. Sure, it improves your mobility for up to a minute. So basically it's okay, so what's the name of that spell? The Expeditious Retreat, that's the one, yeah. Its brain doesn't work. So it's basically, whoa, what is this? Expeditious Retreat, come on, work. There we go, I probably failed. Okay, so it's basically this, right, bonus section. But it's kind of worse, I don't know, like, if I would even say, because it's only 20 foot of movement, and sure, it doesn't burn your action. Okay, that's fine. So you still have your action while you're concentrating on it. So it's better in that department, but, sure, it's 20 foot of movement, it's a concentration, it deals a little bit of a damage. Overall, I think this is more of a thematic spell than really mechanically, I don't know, useful, whatever you want to call it. I would probably still use it just for the, shits and giggles, but it's not something that you should probably pay too much attention to, other than playing like flavorful thematic characters. The image is absolutely amazing, by the way. Like if you think that you are doing something like what its legs are doing over here, right? Now, yeah, that's just juicy, very, very juicy. Now we have also Draconic Transformation. This is one of the spells that I think is like among the top, let's say 3 to 5 spells from level 7 department, right? I mean, it is a druid, sorcerer, or wizard. Let me just kind of like quickly, actually, let me just open this in a new tab. Yeah, so hold on, just give me a second. We have the druid, sorcerer, and then wizard, and then we filter by level. Well, spell level 7. So you will see now that I like basically show you this list. There really, I mean, there are solid level 7 spells, don't get me wrong, but when you consider the mechanics, not a lot of them, honestly. So yeah, in terms of, like, let's say damage spells, Delayed Blast Fireball is okay, but you need to wait for it to actually work a little bit. Crown of Stars is also good, but it only targets one creature. It's a decent amount of damage. If you get all of the 7, or whatever amount of modes of light to fire, yeah, you can deal a considerable amount of damage to one target. Let's say Finger of Death, also single target spell. Power Word Pain could be useful. It's not a damage spell. It's more like you're causing the target to be, whatever, charmed, incapacitated, crippling. So there are good level 7 spells, don't get me wrong. Reverse Gravity is amazing in terms of control, right? All of that. But when we consider, I mean, Teleport, right? Simulacrum is amazing, right? It doubles all of what you do. But all of that taken into consideration, right? When we compare it to this, which gives you following benefits, right? So you get all 3 benefits. Blindside, amazing. You get 60-foot cone upon the casting of the spell, and then as a bonus action for the next minute, 60-foot cone, 6d8 force damage. That's just, and it's been 3d8 before, so they buffed this spell considerably. This is basically double the amount of damage, right? And then obviously you also have a flying speed, which has also been buffed to 60 feet from what was just 40 in the Unearthly Arcana. Honestly, this is gonna be one of my top picks for all characters that are able to learn or cast level 7 spells. It's just this amount of damage alone in a 60-foot cone is, also the cone itself has been buffed. So from 30 to 60 in terms of cone, from 3 to 6 in terms of damage, a d8. Flying speed from 40 to 60, and basically blindside is the same, but I mean, the benefits are amazing. I think this is one of the better, if not one of the best level 7 spells that you can have. I mean, I'm not gonna talk more about it, let's just move on. Fizban's Platinum Shield, it's been buffed in terms of the action economy, so now it's a bonus action. Has Flaming Stride been buffed? I think it's been, hold on, no, it still was a bonus action, but yeah, anyway, so Fizban's Platinum Shield, it's no longer an action, it's a bonus action. The rest of the things are, I think, the same. You get half cover in resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning. Yep, that's still the same. You get evasion, and you can move it 60 feet next to another creature, whatever. It's a decent spell. It's a bit, I would say that making it a 5th level spell wouldn't be too much, but again, I'm not really a spell, I'm not gonna say, I don't know, designer specialist. Maybe there's a reason why they kept it at the level 6. I don't think making it a level 5 spell again would be too much, but then, I mean, it's okay even for a level 6 spell, to be honest. It's kind of like a middle of the pack kind of power. It's not bad, it's not good, it's just okay. Now we have a bunch of spells which name I'm probably not able to pronounce correctly. Nathair's Mischief, it's a decent control spell, a little bit too, how do I say, I mean, if you've been watching my videos, you know that I generally dislike the effects which basically don't give me enough control over what I get. So all of those Chaos Mages, Barbarian, Feywild, whatever the name is, all of those subclasses, Spirit Bards, stuff like that, where you roll on the table and then just kind of like hope that you get what you need. Here it's a little bit less pronounced because only the last effect is kind of The other 3 are good, blinding, making something blinded, incapacitated, or charmed. These are generally good control effects. So 25% of the time you will get something that's probably not gonna matter. And I'm gonna say for a level 2 spell, I can not almost, but I can kind of get behind it, especially since, you get a 20-foot cube that you fill with this like mischievous magic. So basically it's also flavorful. I like the effects that give you flavor like this, literally. And yeah, you can affect multiple creatures. So yeah, for a 2nd level spell where you don't control the effect but you can affect multiple creatures, it's definitely at least passable, if not even, solid. So that's pretty much where I'm gonna end that. Now, Rolathim's Psychic Lance is being nerfed. I'm not sure if it's a nerf that's too much, but it's definitely gonna be felt because 10d6 damage has been turned to 7d6 damage. Maybe why they made it is because it's an intelligence saving throw, so not a lot of monsters, enemies, at least official ones, are good with intelligence saving throws. The intelligence saving throw is generally the one that succeeds the most. The one that gets failed on, well, it's successful for you, right, the most amount of time. when you force enemies to make constitution saves or strength saves, they usually pass those because they have good constitutions and strengths. But intelligence, not really so much. A lot of monsters are really dumb. The damage has been nerfed, but the other effects have been pretty much, I think, the same. Yeah, so becomes the so the only downside is obviously you need to see the creature, but alternatively you can utter a creature's name. Now I don't know, so this part of the spell is going to be something that kind of ties into the scenario of the campaign that you play. I mean, you need to know, right? If you don't know what you're fighting, if you're just fighting some generic devils, how the hell are you supposed to know their names, right? So, yeah, I mean, I guess this is a spell, if somebody has it, that the DM can put a little bit of an extra spice on, you know. If you know the creature's name, even though if you don't see it, you can still target it. It's a fun little spell. It obviously scales with higher levels, similar to how all the other spells work, so no real qualms with that. Rhymes binding, guys, that's that ice something spell. Where is it? Icing Death's Frost, yeah. So it's this was an error to begin with, if I'm not mistaken, because the spell description stated 30-foot cone, and here in the range it said 50, and I don't know, yeah, this is probably something that just, it's a human error most likely. Everything else is the same other than that. I think this is one of the best level 2 control spells that you can have. Now, the only downside is a constitution saving throw, as I've said before, you know. It's usually the one that the creatures pass most often, but considering the fact that it's a second level spell, so you will be casting it at level 3, maybe level 5, right? Let's see. Oh no, it's only sorcerer and wizard. Well, technically, yeah, if it's a wizard spell, then it's an Eldritch Knight Fighter and Arcane Trickster Rogue spell as well. So, yeah, they get these spells at level 7, I think? 5? I don't know. Yeah, I think it's 7. So, I mean, look, at level 2, dealing a little bit of a cold damage and potentially making creatures hindered by ice formations by it, forcing other creatures who pass their saving throws, other enemies, to use their actions, so basically waste their turn to break the creatures, break the ones that have been encased in the icy formations. This is one of the, I mean, look, this is basically what happens, right? I mean, you breathe this whatever binding ice, and you basically effectively incapacitate everybody because, I mean, they are hindered by it, yeah. So their speed is reduced to 0. Sure, they can maybe still attack, but they can't move. So if you have a bunch of melee enemies who are attacking you, you just, you know, cast this spell on them, and then if they can't move, you just move away from them and just shoot them with arrows and, you know, and range spells and stuff like that. So this has a potential to be very, very, like, encounter breaking, depending on the types of enemies that you're dealing with. Honestly, this is one of my most favorite, or at least better spells from Fizban's Treasury of Dragons. Now we also get the Summon Draconic Spirit. This follows into the steps of all the other summon spells. I'm not gonna go too deep into it. I think it's mostly the same. There might be some slight differences, but I don't think so. The spell was pretty much good as is. It's a high level spell. It summons a creature for you. For a high level spell like this, you are at minimum a level 9 caster. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot of hit points, and it's got decent amount of stuff. The only thing that I am gonna point out to is that neither in the Unearthed Arcana or the official variation, the breath weapon has no recharge. So you know how the dragon's breath weapons usually have the recharge mechanic. You need to roll a d6, and then on the 5 and 6 you get the breath weapon back. But if you roll 1 to 4, you don't. Well, here you basically have it every turn. So this is the one. It's actually a decent amount of damage, even for a 5th level spell. It's got multi-attack, so, you know, immediately two attacks, right? Round it down. Yeah, so 2 attacks and breath weapon every turn. for a potential of 2d6 plus 18 plus 2d6 damage to multiple. Well, this is to one creature and then this is to multiple creatures, right? Again, it's not a lot of damage, but it will stack up considering the fact that this is also a bag of hit points on the battlefield. So yeah, and that's it for the spells, I think. Yeah, pretty much that. We are gonna talk about magic items in the next video. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the bell button. Don't forget about my charity D&D live stream tomorrow. I expect to see some of your familiar names at least saying a little bit of a hi, hello in the chat. Yeah, with that said, Minwax Munchkin out, and talk to you soon.